Hello, folks. Welcome back to 3 at 3. 3 at 3, this is the last one of the week. In fact, the last one of the month of May, which means we've closed out 5 months this year. We're coming up on June, of course, which will kick off next week when we come back from Memorial Day. By the way, we'll have a Memorial Day slide in the deck today. And without further ado, let's get started. This is being presented as informational and educational. All investments involve risk. You need to understand the investment process before you make the investment, not after you've done it. So please be aware that I will describe options, which are a wasting asset, and you need to be aware that there's a little skill, not too much, but a little skill involved that you need to acquire if you don't have it already. Let's talk about intellectual property. We have registered marks, trademarks, copyrights, and patents on what you're about to see. So please share it with your friends by all means. But as far as public presentations of this data, please ask us before you do that. This is, I think, our latest episode of the podcast. It was with Zachary Karabell, Dr. Zachary Karabell. You may remember that he was a contributor. I think he may still be a contributor on CNBC, but he hasn't been on the halftime report in a while. Good man, though, and he wrote a very interesting book called Inside Money, the story of Brown Brothers Harriman. I had a good conversation with him. If you Google compound interests and my last name, Najarian, it will take you to the likes of Spotify, Apple Podcasts, virtually all the podcasting platforms. So check it out. I think it was a good discussion with Zach. Also, I am happy to now be in Kevin O'Leary's realm, I guess. I'm a celebrity investor, at least according to Seeking Alpha. So I had to chuckle at that. But the part that is noteworthy, I think, is that I am the chairman of a SPAC that just filed its S1 today. When we do the de-SPACing and all the rest, I'll be sure to let you guys know, but it's a $250 million IPO. We have the former Energy Secretary, Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico, Richardson, great guy. He is the vice chairman of this particular SPAC. It's a clean energy SPAC. So we'll be buying companies in the clean energy space. Now, that's not listed companies, but given that there are 300 and some odd companies that have pledged to be carbon neutral by 2050, and some $6 trillion in companies out there that are trying to do this dance with clean energy, I'd say we're tapping into a good vein here. We've also got the former president of Disney, Al Weiss, who is on the board, or advisory, I think, board of this new SPAC. More about that later. Just wanted to let you guys know since it hit the news wires today. 30 stocks in 60 minutes with AJ Monty and me, Jon Najarian. Next Wednesday, June 2nd, we will kick this off. And, markets have been up and down. They have been, sort of volatile and then come down in volatility a lot in the past week. But the question is, where do we go from here? And AJ Monty is a CFA. He is a chartist, phenomenal chartist. I encourage you to sign up for this free webinar. Just got to go to marketrebellion.com. You'll see how you can do it. And that'll be next Wednesday, June 2nd, right at the market close. As far as cannabis, I had seen so many cannabis stocks hitting. I saw cannabis ETFs hitting the heat seeker today. I saw Kronos, which you may have heard me use as a final trade today. CRON is the symbol there. Kronos, I did it for my final trade today because I bought some. And I think this has been a space that has been abused. Abused by shorts. I think at times during the squeeze when all these Canadian stocks came out, they were sort of abused to the upside as well. But I really like Kronos. I'm going to show you another that I like as well, but let me just show you my buddy Cousin Vinny, as he's known. He says, Kronos cannabis stocks in play. Thanks, Jon Najarian, Dr. J, much respect. We are seeing the same volume coming into this group. Tilray earlier this week, finally above, let's see, we've also got Canopy Growth, SNDL, and Kronos. So he has all of these on his radar as well as us. I told Cousin Vinny I'd mention him on the show. There you go, Vin. And I'll show you one more stock, which is Kern, Kern. Now, these guys aren't really the growers or the dispensaries for cannabis, but they are somebody that helps the government track it. Because the government, when they give these guys licenses, wants to know that what is being sold in that dispensary is a licensed product, not a black market product. So Kern can do that because, let's say, the equivalent of DNA for humans, let's say the same thing over here for cannabis. So KERN, 6,000 June 750 calls. This one's a $110 million company. It's another reason I couldn't do this one on the halftime report. I had to do Kronos because they want $1 billion or more stocks mentioned by any of us on the halftime report. So throwing it out there for you guys, KERN stock was $4.47. As you see, it's a little bit of a slip here. It's $4.29 right now. And you see the range on the day, pretty strong range. When you're seeing a 60-cent range for a $4 stock, yeah, that's a bit of movement. Market average daily volume, 1.9 million just a little bit ago versus 1.17 million average over the last 10 days. That'll tell you people are focused on the space. So that is the first of our 3 at 3. This is, of course, our YouTube channel. And on YouTube, we put all of our videos up for free. Why? Because we're crazy. That's why. Because it works. Because all of you then see more about Market Rebellion on YouTube. And that way we know that we can, we're up to 18,350 subscribers now. Thank you, each and every one of you, for that. All of the videos go up. The Daily Crypto Bite, which goes up 10 a.m. Eastern Time. My 60-second, which goes up before the market opens. 3 at 3, which, as you know, is at 3 o'clock Eastern. Pete's the Take, 10:30 Eastern. All of these shows go up onto YouTube. So how do you subscribe? You go to YouTube and you type in Market Rebellion, and then you click subscribe. It's that easy. Then you can also click that little bell for notifications, and you'll know every time we have a new episode. And Pete will actually come knocking on your door, probably in flip-flops and a pair of board shorts, to let you know we have a new video that just dropped. Let's talk about Nucor. Why? Because this multi-billion-dollar steel company that's up 91% this year, somebody stepped in and bought nearly 6,000 of these October 10 calls. So let's say that that's approximately a 10% rally to get to that level. And if you've traded options before, you know that if we see a pop between now and October, in other words, if we saw a 2 or 3 day pop of $5 or $6, we wouldn't have to get to 110, just see a pop from where it was, 101, up towards 106. If it happens quick, those options are going to double, even though they're way out there in October. So I am in these options. I'm a believer in infrastructure. I think a lot of what Nucor does is what America needs. And so I'm in this trade. There is the activity. Stock was at 101. 5,000 of those 110 calls changed hands. As you saw moments ago, that's up over 6,000 now. And stock has moved up by about $1.60 from when we were talking about it. And I'd say worth watching, if not investing in. And keep in mind, as always, every option is for 100 shares of stock. If you'd like to learn more about unusual option activity, I would strongly encourage you to go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. Tens of thousands of you have done that and subscribed. We appreciate each and every one of you. I would say this is the premier tracker of unusual option activity, because ours isn't just like every stock with volume. No, it's got to be volume on the offer. Don't care about the other stuff. So a lot of services that sort of copycat ours just talk about tons and tons of volume. I don't care about tons and tons of volume. Could be covered rights. They sold calls instead of bought calls. It could be something traded in between the markets. Again, I want to see something trading on the offer in size, and that's when we follow it. So we take virtually all of the emotion out of these trades, and instead we isolate down to the best of the best, probably publish 20 to 30 of those a day for Market Rebellion. You want to learn more about it? Go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. And here is Plug Power. Plug Power, $30.66 when I was on air with the halftime report. I love that I've got both the 3 at 3 hat in the background, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere in front of the boat today because it's Friday and it is 5 o'clock somewhere. Plug Power. So this is one of those meme stocks. I talked about meme stocks on the halftime report. Meme stocks, the ones that are on Reddit, and we track Reddit, we track Twitter, we buy the fire hose from both. In the case of Reddit, we don't even have to buy it. They just give it away. But in the case of Twitter, you got to buy it. We have every Twitter account. And then we can track and follow the ones that are actually have some degree of authenticity, not just a bot. And we're looking for sentiment. Well, we've got it in spades this week in Plug Power, which is why we bought it. And we bought it again today. There was the trigger today. Stock was about $30. They were buying the June 35 calls, the 4th of June 35 calls. That means next week, 35 calls. There it is, moving up to 31.16, been as high as 31.82 today. So volume strong, 33.25 million shares. I like Plug, and I will trade this one aggressively. Why aggressively? Because we've got time decay this weekend. We will only have 4 trading days next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I think you need to be aware that you got to move fast in this one. So has it moved enough already that I was able to take profits on my trade? No, but I did not buy the 35s. You know that. I bought an at the money and sold upside calls on this bounce, on this $1.16 rally. That's the way I play it, folks. Daily crypto bite. Yes, every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Another video that goes up. And this one, of course, like the others, is live. It goes up on all the socials, then gets posted up on YouTube afterwards. Marketrebellion.com/try crypto is where you can go and check out for $1 for the first month. Not the videos, that's free every day. But $1 for your first month covers you for 24/7 access to the daily crypto trading room. So if you're like me and kind of worried about the weekend, because we're not going to be trading Monday, and sometimes foreign markets try to take advantage during that time when Americans probably aren't as focused on trading, which will be during Memorial Day. Well, you could be in that crypto room with thousands of other traders and our moderators talking about best opportunities. So that's marketrebellion.com/try crypto. Questions? All right, let's get to those questions. At Jon Najarian is my Twitter handle. So I said, Treasury Secretary Yellen told lawmakers on Thursday that Biden's spending plan represents a, quote, fiscally responsible, end quote, approach. I respectfully disagree. Could it work? Of course it could. But is the president when he is proposing a $6 trillion budget, blowing out the budget? You bet he is. They complained last year when the budget was significantly smaller. But now that it's a new administration and it's not Trump, apparently we can spend endlessly, and you can until the music stops. So what I worry about is as interest rates move up, which virtually everybody you talk with thinks that they will, I worry that our financing of that debt is going to become untenable. I hope I'm wrong. Happy to be wrong. I had a discussion with my buddy Josh Brown. And when I say buddy, I do mean Josh and I are very good friends. And we talk a lot, both on air and off air. So when I'm worried, I'm worried about inflation. I see it everywhere. I'm not trying to see it everywhere, and I hope that it's transitory, but I don't see people cutting back on travel. I think many people that traveled for the first time during the pandemic, or certainly the first time in a long time, because it was giveaway airfares and the planes were empty. So a lot of people started flying. I know several that I met flying back and forth across the country that told me they either hadn't ever flown before or were flying for the first time in several years. Now, I think those people will continue to want to travel because why? It's relatively a pleasant experience, not so much with masks, but most of the time it's a pretty pleasant experience. That'll keep pressure on airfares, Josh. Josh thinks that's transitory, that they're just popping because of the stimulus, which I agree, it is popping because of the stimulus, but I think they will hold these prices. They will not bring on as much inventory. Just look at the airports. And from Chicago to New York, there used to be a American flight every half hour. Now pull it up and see what it's like. It's not every half hour. It's every hour, hour and a half. Will that change? I imagine, but I don't think it's going back to every half hour for a while because they can make money while the fares and while the demand is greater than the supply. So keep that in mind, my friends. Neo, Chris, Pana_Chris says, hi, Doc. Haven't heard you talk about Neo in a while. That's the electric car company, Neo. He says, I haven't heard you talk about it in a while. How do you feel about stock? Seem to be on the verge of a breakout. Well, I certainly hope so. From the middle of May bottom at 31 to where it is now at 38-ish, I like it. Did I ride in that one during that time? No, I did ride on Tesla and battery maker ABML. I did ride on Albemarle. There were a number of plays that I did. Don't take it as that I didn't like Neo because I haven't traded it. I just didn't see unusual option activity. And that's the driver for most of my trading. So that's why I haven't traded Neo lately. Crowd, as in CrowdStrike, CRWD, Wolf Gem, symbol, or rather the @ Wolf Gem 5, CRWD into earnings, a lot of 250 calls bought into the earnings. Your thoughts? Well, I bet they're pretty much the same as yours. I like this one a lot, but I worry that anybody that doesn't blow out the numbers is going to be hit. You got to blow out the numbers, can't miss on either top or bottom line, especially on sales right now. And I think you have to have positive guidance. Now, here's the good news, that the pipeline hack that happened, the Colonial pipeline hack, just focused us all the more on cybersecurity. That's in their wheelhouse for CrowdStrike. So I'm going to go out on the limb here, Wolf Gem 5, and say I am bullish. They have earnings next Thursday. So, 6 days hence, they have earnings. I will try to be in a long call spread prior to that. Bang. Thank you. Sheila, whose handle is Boomer Sheila, BOOMERSHEILA. John, my diagonal short, if my diagonal short, sorry, Sheila, goes deep in the money at expiration, should I roll it out another week if I have time in the long call? Yes. Yes. Unless you want that thing to basically force an exercise on the other option that you own. Yes, you should buy it back and roll it up and out to a higher strike. That's what I would do, Sheila. Again, I'm not really going to be able to tell you what you should do because I don't know all the ins and outs of your financial position, and I am not your advisor. But Sheila, what I would do is exactly what you described. I would roll it out another week and up a strike, because then I can stay in the position. Well, I told you we'd end up with Memorial Day, and yes, we are. Thank you to all the men and women that serve, that have served, that have passed. That's part of Memorial Day, is recognizing all of those folks. So thank you. I hope you guys do the same, recognize those who have served, and I hope you have a great Memorial Day. See you Tuesday.